Welcome back. Well, from penning thrillers to directing some of India's biggest streaming hits, one man keeps redefining the art of storytelling. A journalist-turned-filmmaker, Suparn Varma, has shaped worlds that blend drama, emotion and purpose. From the family man's tension to the trial's immoral conflict and now Huck's emotional truth. His stories don't just entertain, they question, move and mirror the world we live in. Inspired by real-life Ahmad Khan versus Shah Bano case, Huck is Suparn's latest film, which is a tribute to justice, faith and women who dare to raise their voice. From Ek Khiladi Ek Hasina to Huck, every story he tells leaves an imprint, a question and a truth. Let's go across to him, bring him in this morning on The Breakfast Club, the storyteller who turns real life into powerful cinema. Suparn, good morning. Thank you for being with us. Hope you're doing well.
Good morning. Yes, I'm doing very, very well. We had a very good weekend at the box office. So yeah, it's been an interesting time.
It better be an interesting time and good days for you because yes, surely your movie is doing great. Suparn, but everyone's got talking about how the film is inspired by the Shah Bano case. It's a story that's moved India beyond cinema. It's a story that India's lived through the years. How difficult was it? And before you tell us about that whole experience of actually filming it, tell us how much time went into researching, writing, rethinking into how you want to put it out there for the people.
So firstly, thank you for having me on the show. When Reshu Nath, my writer, and I started researching and we decided that this is the film that I want to make, we spent a lot of time researching the legality of it, all the entire legal journey that our protagonist has undergone based on the landmark Supreme Court judgment. And then for me, it was a big decision that I needed it to be a voice of conscience, of which point of view do I tell the story from and how vast do I take the story to be. And I realized that we want to make it into a domestic dispute that became a national, mudda per se, to say. And that became the driving force where we wanted to get into the mind and heart of Shazia Bano and her husband Abbas Khan in the film and create these two characters who are real people. And the minute you kind of make it as real as possible, the possibilities of saying so much more just increase for us. And there is so much that we wanted to say and encompass that through this journey of theirs is where we could kind of, bring across our points, whether they were legal, whether they were moral, whether to do with society, and clear a lot of misunderstandings, clear a lot of heartaches that, women across centuries have gone through and nothing really has changed. I mean, we talk about why is, the story of Shazia Bano relevant today as compared to 40 years ago. And my thing is, what's changed in the last 40 years? The glass ceiling is still the same. The struggles are still the same. The gender biases that women face are still the same. They still live in a man's world. So if that's the case, then what really has changed? Yes, we maybe talk a bit more now, but that's a small marginal percentage. We try and be, woke and have empathy towards women's causes. But again, that's a very marginal, scenario. Nothing has changed for women. And until we kind of start screaming and talking about it, nothing's going to change. I mean, if men had the same issues as women, by now the world would be a very different place. Most of the issues would be resolved. So,
So you wanted people to walk out of the theatre thinking, asking themselves why we are where we are, despite the several legal battles that have been fought around cases like these, despite us progressing as a nation. That's one question that you possibly wanted everyone to keep in mind when they're walking out after having gone through the whole experience. Also tell us about the pick here. So why did you choose Yami Gautam and Imran Hashmi? What was the thought there? Because you have spoken in so many interviews of how when they first walked into the set, they were like those fearless, hungry students who are just in it for it. So why did you say that and what was the thought process like?
I mean, Yami was my first choice, simple as that, because I think when I saw her pictures, when I've seen her films, there is something about her eyes. There is an earnestness to her. There's an authenticity to Yami that draws you in. And when I met her, we had the story idea sketched out, the world sketched out, but the screenplay was still being written. And she was on from the word go. She saw where I would go. And I think with Yami and Imran, both, it was just two words that convinced them. Trust me. And they trusted me. They literally went the whole hog without any fear, any doubt. Imran, again, I mean, once we started discussing Abbas's character, the way he kind of contributed that, he loved the layers he brought in, that Abbas is not one note. He's real. He's driven by his ego, his ambition, and unlike, where you have men being painted or, characters being painted in a black and white format, we wanted it to be as grey as possible where you could relate to him. That's what makes him really scary, because you see people like Abbas all around. I mean, Shazia can be literally Sunita. Abbas can be, an Amit. It's not about a particular community or religion. These are characters that resonate. And I think that's what's struck the most with audiences. It's a very, very Indian film. It's a very humane drama. You could place it anywhere in the world. It's nothing to do with a sect per se, right? And that's what you want to communicate.
Suparn, when the final film is out, and as an audience, when you're seated in the theatre, you really don't have an opportunity to blink twice, look away, get distracted. You're in the zone of feeling the film, feeling the storyline, really absorbing it. How is it any different when you're shooting the film? Because you spoke of Yami Gautam and how she was the first person who came to your mind when you decided that you're going to write the story on Shah Bano. She's also pulled off these remarkable portions in the film. One is the sequence where she was in the market area wherein she spoke of women's rights. The other is, of course, towards the end, the courtroom scene. Again, very vocal, very powerful delivery. How different was it while shooting with her? Could you feel that connected? Could you feel being moved because of the severity with which it was shot?
I think, so we started shooting with, locations, right? So you had a father's house, you had a husband's house, and in those locations itself, before we even moved to the marketplace or the Supreme Court or the High Court per se, although there is only in the Sessions Court that she starts talking in the beginning and then she only talks in the Supreme Court. I think in the husband's house itself, Abbas's house, where you had these dramatic scenes between her and Imran, where she comes to ask for money for her children and they literally have a fight. It was visceral. They went at each other and no quarters were given. They just went at each other. At her father's house, where we have this really heartbreaking moment where, she faces loss and we literally let the camera be. The set was empty. It was just me and my DOP Pratham. And we just moved in and she was crying. Pratham was crying. I am crying. And I was holding Pratham, from behind because he was moving around with her. And all three of us are in tears. She, of course, is performing. We are performing. At a single take, we never had to do it again. There are many times, in this film, whether with, Yami or Imran, or we have done a lot of single take shots. We didn't need to go in for a second retake at all because they just gave it their all right from the word go. They came in ready. They came in prepared. We shot fast. We shot tight. We shot the whole film in 32 days. So they lived in that character.
That's remarkable in itself. 32 days. I mean, you can't tell when you watch this film that it just took a little over a month.
It is. Yeah, it just took a little over a month. And, again, I had the best crew in the world, the best team in the world, and some amazing actors who were literally giving it their all in every take. So everybody's prepared. And that really helps because you're in sync. Your team, your entire team is living and breathing the same story. They're feeling the same emotions. And every day we would go back happy that, we did something special today. And the Supreme Court was literally the last thing that we shot. And, usually like how it's in exam halls, where everybody comes prepared and then it's like, who goes first? Between Yami and Imran and Shivaji, who's going to kind of, start with the scene first. Although Yami talks on the second, day of the Supreme Court. But Yami decided to go first and she went at it. We did 2 takes. That was it. And that was a day I think she started honestly letting go of Shazia Bano because the next day she had to react, right? And then Imran came. He again in 2 takes finished it off. So it was just that.
Yeah.
They're like school students looking at each other. So yeah.
Okay. Suparn, considering the sensitive nature of the subject, what you chose around marriage, around law, religion, gender, how prepared were you for a stormy backlash pre-release? And did the reaction far exceed your expectations, or was it the other way around? Because typically when you choose a bold film, you got to be prepared for a lot more.
I realized something while making Sirf Ek Banda Kafi Hai, that when your intentions are honest, when you're true to what you're doing, and you have no bias, you have no propaganda, you have no agenda, you're telling a very true story, the world clears up. Everybody galvanizes, the universe comes around you, right? And the same thing happened with Haq. The minute we released our teaser, when the trailer came out, people would just keep coming to me saying that, we are kind of surprised. We thought that what if there was an agenda or whatever, and we feel safe. We feel good about it. And once the film came out and the kind of gentry that's coming in, you have women going in groups, you have families going in groups, and I'm not talking about whether it's it's across the country, whether it's Bangalore or Chennai or Delhi or Bombay or Hyderabad. People are just going out en masse and watching the film and reacting to it in a way that everybody's come out saying the same thing. It's balance, and that is important. Was I worried? Here's the thing: you can't be fearful and create art. You have to be fearless. And if you're honest, if you're true, you have nothing to worry about. The minute you start bringing in agendas or you have something different in mind, then you have something to worry about. So honestly, not me or my team, none of us are worried from day one since we started making Haq.
Brilliantly put, Suparn. But since you spoke of Sirf Ek Banda Kafi Hai, I also want to talk about Family Man and draw that contrast between films and OTT. After having done both, experimented with both, and succeeded the way you have in both domains, where do you stand? What's your top pick? Where are you right now when it comes to filmmaking?
I love films. I love OTT. Honestly, they're different mediums. OTT is like writing a Charles Dickens novel. This is writing a tighter, a novel like a James Hadley Chase in terms of 200 pages. But I love both mediums. With streaming shows,
has OTT induced that fast-paced filmmaking in you? Because 32 days for Haq is insane.
I was always a disciplined, fast filmmaker because I'm very clear in my head when I go to shoot or what I want to do. I prepare with my team, I prepare with my actors, I spend time in pre-prod, because end of the day, when you're on set, the clock is ticking. It's literally, the cash counters are rolling with every single hour that you shoot. So you have to be precise. You cannot be sitting and exploring on set. You need to explore on paper. That's what script writing is for. Where you spend time with your writer, where you spend time with your team, you read the scripts, you discuss the scripts, you go over and over and over until you're sure. Yes, you can always shoot a little extra, but you need to be clear in your head as to what you're making. I don't discover films when I'm shooting them. I discover them on paper, while writing, or with my writers, number one. What does happen on set is magic at times, because actors, the locations, they bring in that extra, the word genius comes from genie, right? And I believe in genies. I believe in magic. I believe in movie gods. And things happen. Things happen at times which just surprise you. And I leave myself open to that magic per se. But if you're not prepared, you will not even know that magic is happening and capture it on camera.
And you've had some wonderful picks as protagonists. So, Family Man, for instance, Sirf Ek Banda, Manoj Bajpayee, you work with him so closely. You work with Kajol. Her return to OTT has also been a turning point essentially in her career. It's almost been seen as a comeback in a way, apart from the other films that she was doing at the same time. How has it been working like these people? And if I were to ask you of one experience, one person who you've trusted your film with and given the lead role to, is there something that stays with you when I ask you that question? That one person who's contributed in a way that's left a huge impression on your life?
I think it's not about the one person per se. What I would say is this, that the one thing common in all the names that you mentioned, all the people that I've worked with, and all the people I've learned from, is that no matter where they are and no matter how much they've achieved in life, whether it's Manoj or Kajol or Yami or Samantha or Venki sir or Rana, I mean, to name some of them, right? They come to set every single day scared. They come to set every single day hungry. And that reflection of my fear and my hunger, I go to set every single day thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do today. And the minute I put my foot on set, I know exactly what I'm going to do. But that fear is what drives you. I think the day the fear goes away, you become complacent. And none of these people are complacent. They are pushing themselves harder and harder and harder. And that's what we expect of our teams, right? Everybody needs to come with their A game, no matter what you do in life. And that's what I've learned from all these stalwarts, that they come every single day scared and hungry, like a point to prove. So it's not like day 10 of the same film shoot or the day 30 of the same film shoot, they'll relax. They'll be more scared than ever. And that fear never goes away. And that fear has been harnessed in a way that becomes your friend, not detrimental to you. All of them has this in common. They come with a sense of reverence, of fear and hunger.
Okay, so Suparn, I'm also going to have to ask you this, because this is a constant debate on the internet, in the industry. Every time you speak of OTT and you speak of films, and since you've been closely associated with both, the one question that pops up is how some have drawn a red line and they say OTT has been a game changer, yes, but it is also denting traditional Indian cinema in so many ways. And Aamir Khan is an example. He drew that line very sharply. Where do you stand on that debate?
See, my thing
because
is this,
you've been part of both the worlds.
See, OTT shows are different. Aamir Khan kind of came from a perspective of OTT film releases per se, right?
Yeah.
Now, when COVID happened, streaming platforms were a savior to the industry because films had nowhere to go, theaters were shut down, and streaming platforms literally lapped up the rights to a lot of films which released for the first time on OTT. The audience changed, the country changed. I think the world changed as a whole in terms of viewing habits during the period of COVID with the advent of streaming platforms across the board. I mean, honestly, had COVID not happened, then streaming platforms would have taken maybe 8 to 10 years more to reach where they are today. Because it's an entire viewing habit. It's a mindset that had to change, right? Where you would go every weekend to a movie theater, where now you decide to stay at home and watch it for an X amount of price that you pay for the whole year and get movies sitting in your house. So that started changing the business per se and the model per se. But people are still discovering it because it worked then. Now, parts of it, if you know that a movie is going to release in 4 weeks in an OTT platform, then you might start considering that going to a movie theaters is expensive today. Then should I go to a movie theater or should I wait for it in the house? So now new models are coming in where maybe, producers are discussing about releasing a movie 3 months or 4 months down the line on an OTT platform. So these are things that we're discovering. It's almost like right now you have, a different business model happening, the streaming platforms and traditional filmmaking business. You have AI happening at the same time. It's like a world is in a state of flux. Everybody is discovering their place under the sun and trying to adapt to new technology, new business models, and figure out what to keep, what to change, how to adapt. And my thing in life is this, that the simple philosophy in life is evolve, change, adapt, man.
Okay, lovely. And what's your philosophy on filmmaking? So give us a tagline. We'll quickly wrap up on that positive note. What is filmmaking to you?
Honestly, filmmaking is my life. That's all I know. That's all I want to do. That's all I wanted to do my whole life. So if you don't, if you can't think of life beyond filmmaking.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Suparn, for being with us, for sharing your lovely story, for telling us all about